Okay, art friends, we are going to move on to our final project. So you have practiced your elephant, you know how to transfer something from a grid to something bigger, you know how to find shapes of value. So on this, I'm going to be sending you, if I took your picture, I'm going to email you a copy of this picture and hopefully you can get it printed out. If you don't have a picture taken yet, what I need you to do is find a dramatic light source where the light's really coming in from one side and it's really black and dark on another side of your body, and take a picture of your face that you like. Print that out. Mine's like about a half-size sheet of paper. It doesn't have to be huge or anything. And you are going to find your shapes of value in this. So I haven't found my shapes of value, and I'm not going to find all of them in this video, but I am going to just kind of get like my light shapes here. They're kind of wiggly. And I'm going to get a few of them just so that we have something to do an example with. Oh, this marker's not so good. I might have to switch to a different one. That one's better. Now remember, there can be shapes inside of shapes. Like I might grab that little black shape there. Kind of squinting my eyes and I see sort of a another shape with a dark shape in it. Squinting my eyes and I kind of see sort of this shape. Now this darkness I think bleeds right into that, into my cheek. So again, I'm not drawing a face, just like you weren't drawing an elephant. I am and you can use a fine tip Sharpie if that helps you out. I might have to get a little precise right here. I kind of wish I had a fatter Sharpie for that. And right here's my trickiest spot. Oh, the fat Sharpie's kind of covering up some of my white. So you're going to keep finding these shapes. Oh, my wrinkles, yeah. And keep going into here. Get this one. There's another white one. I might pick up, because I can kind of see across the top of that, I might get that a little bit in there. But the rest just bleeds into the black there. This would definitely be a shape of its own. I'm doing everything that's this medium kind of gray. Okay, so I've got kind of this lighter gray, the dark gray, kind of this medium gray. I've got some little detailed stuff. I think I'm going to switch to a finer tip Sharpie for that. Oops, that should have all been one shape. And this will kind of be its own. I kind of see like this changes a little bit. So again, I'll do a finer tip Sharpie on some of that detailed stuff, but I'm already nearly done finding my shapes of value. This one needs to close off. So check and see. Now, a fun way to check and see how things are working is by flipping this over, and you can see like, where am I missing stuff? I can see I still probably need to find some stuff here. I didn't find all my detail in that spot, but it's going pretty good. I'm seeing most of the stuff happening. That one bit that I was using that marker that wasn't super good, it didn't show up, so I want to go over that again. So that's a fun way to check and see how things look. Now, what's going to happen after you find all your shapes of value, you're going to get another piece of paper. And this is tricky because you don't have the same sized art paper we have in the classroom. But if you know somebody that can come to school and can bring you this stuff, I would be happy to bring it to you. If not, I'm going to show you how to find proportional kind of stuff. But if you have this one and you have like a sketchbook that has 9 by 12 pieces of paper, this is 9 inches by 12 inches. And it makes it so these proportions come out perfect because I've already put grids on that are proportional to this paper. So what you're going to do is you're going to set your ruler at 0 at the end. you're going to make a mark, a light mark at 3 and 6. Down at the bottom, you're going to do the same thing. 3, ooh, we can't see that. 3 and 6. You're going to draw lines matching up to those 2 marks as light as you can. I'm not even going to press my pencil down. I'm just going to let it drag across. This camera hopefully just barely picks up that line. It's so light. I'm going to do that on all of those. 3 and 6. Line those up. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to go 3, 6, and now I get to do a 9 as well. So a 3, 6, 9, and at 3, 6, and 9. So if you're using like typing paper that goes in your printer, printing paper is not going to be 3, 6, and 9. You're going to have to come up with a whole different system, which it's the challenge of this project for sure. So now I'm just drawing lines across. Again, hopefully you can find some 9 by 12 paper. And if not, email me, let me know. We'll figure out something to do. Okay, so I have my grid lines all on here and they match up to the grid lines here. This picture, since I have so much black in the background, some of my grid lines kind of disappeared into nowhere land, but I don't need to draw anything there anyway, so it doesn't really matter. What I need to know right now is this box equals this box here. So I am going to only draw with a pencil these lines that I drew on here. That's all I have to draw. It's not really that many lines. I can see this line starts not quite halfway. It's going to come maybe about right here. Comes to about right. I like to kind of get my guide of where things go. Maybe a little lower, about right there. So I'm going to get kind of that first line. That would be this one. I know that other kind of wiggly lines. And you know what? If they're not perfect, no one's ever going to know. As long as they're kind of close. Okay, so I just drew that line there. I've got this one kind of coming in from the corner. I might even let it just come across. So the grid is just there to kind of help you keep things somewhat proportional. So I'm just drawing in super lightly these same lines like I did with the elephant onto this piece of paper. So that's pretty easy. Now, once you have done all of that, it's going to look really amazing on here. It's going to be awesome. You're going to love this like more than like you ever thought you could love it. But then you're going to need to start to match up your shapes of value. So this comes right in. So I'm just getting some of my full shapes done. This one has one more. Oh, that's that. To think sometimes a little bit. So I have these 2 different values going on here. We didn't get to talk about how to hold a pencil a different way using this crab grip where you hold at the tip. Maybe we did. We might have done. I can't remember in the last video. If you make mistakes, erase them away. But you're going to try to match these values with this. Now you can see all of this is super dark, and it's yours won't be that black in the background. But to create value, try using the side of your pencil and just small circular motions so we don't have like those pencil lines that look like this. Those are not pretty. Even if you try to smooth them out, they just never look really smooth. They're just yucky. They have a time where they do actually look really good, but for this project, we want to have these kind of smooth. Now this probably isn't dark enough using the side of my pencil, so I may go over it again and kind of get a little more muscle behind it and layer up these values and try to get this dark, as dark as I can. I like to do my darks first. Now something's going to happen where I have black up here and I start drawing into here. If I start getting this really dark back up in here, and then when I'm drawing, I'm going to start rubbing that and I'm going to start smearing and getting black all over here and getting black on places I don't want it. So a good trick to do is to get a scrap piece of paper. Imagine this is a scrap piece of paper. And then you can add your value and put this under your hand right here so that you can be adding your value. This was a really light. That's actually, I'm going to probably leave that white. But this is the one I'm going to shade and I don't want to mess anything up. I'm going to start a little light to begin with. And If something is a little too dark, you can always erase it out a little bit. If you have your kneaded eraser with you at home, you can just press it on top of it and it'll just kind of lift it out. So we're going to try to match our values to our picture, and just one flat bit of value. It should be the same from here to here. It shouldn't go darker to lighter or anything. It's just all the same value in that one entire shape. That is our goal. So you can see I'm going to send some pictures of examples of kids that have gotten a little further than this as we're moving along, but most of the kids are only starting this stage just barely right now. So that is what we are trying to do, match those up. I think this still could go a little bit darker. All right, so it's going to be my next darkest value from this one. So identify your whites, make sure you're leaving those white. I'm not going to do anything in here. This is all going to be white. These glasses are going to be white. Here's going to be white. This is going to be just a little bit darker than my white. So it's fun. It's really fun stuff to do. Now, if you are taking your own picture and you have your own paper, this is what I'd say to do. Since yours won't have a grid on it, I would measure and make a mark in half and in half, and I would draw a line in half. I would do the same here in half and half, and then I would measure that and go in half again, and go in half again, go in half again, and go in half again. I would just make the measurements. Then I would get the paper, and I would do the same thing. I'd mark marks in half. I would find the halfway point between those, and I would just make my own measurements and do my own thing. I think you can figure this out. So that's that. And from Mrs. Sig, I say farewell.